Hi, my name is Carmen, and I am an early childhood special education teacher, a life and ADHD coach, and I'm the host of this podcast, Authentically ADHD. I created this podcast to help anyone wondering if they have ADHD, people who have been diagnosed for a while and want some more support and community. I'm here to bring you the latest research on ADHD and neurodiversities while we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of ADHD. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, my friend, and welcome back to the podcast. How have you been? I just wanted to inform you guys that I have finally gotten to a place where I'm recording a week earlier than the release. And this is for two different reasons. This is one because I do want to give my Patreon people a real early release episode. So when I talk about like the fact that I release episodes early, it's almost like a week early. So you're like right on top of my schedule. And the second reason is that I found it a lot less stressful when I would sit down to write or to even just brainstorm ideas for a podcast. And here's the thing, it kind of cleared up my writer's block because I didn't feel that pressure to write every week. Now, this week, it wasn't because of the pressure and it wasn't because of anything other than I just wanted to be really authentic this week. So it's going to be a different kind of episode. It's going to be probably a little on the shorter side. It's going to be personalized, but hopefully relatable to you. We're talking about ADHD and essentially cognitive flexibility, which is the transitions, big and small, in our lives, but really how it connects to all the other executive functions in having ADHD. So I'm excited to kind of get into this. I don't have a script today. I'm not reading. All of the things that I'll be saying are from research that I have proven before in previous episodes, or just from my personal experience, stories, and symptoms and things that I've gone through, and the negative outcomes that sometimes come with ADHD. So, if you think that you might dig this kind of content, keep listening. If not, go ahead and find an episode. There are over 100 of episodes all about ADHD. And all right, so let's jump into it. I'm trying to do my intro at the beginning and one plug at the end to make it a little bit easier and just a little bit more enjoyable for you guys. I know that I hate hitting the skip, the 15 or whatever, skip ahead, because I don't want to listen to the ad that I've listened to already and that I'm still contemplating whether I want to participate in it or not. So I am also trying to do something new, as in, making it so that it's a lot easier to skip past those types of things. So what I want to talk about is transitions, cognitive flexibility. Now, I've always been a person who thought that they were pretty good at cognitive flexibility, because I'm a teacher. And on top of that, I'm an early childhood special education teacher. And I know I've explained this before, but for those of you that don't know what that profession involves, I have a classroom full of 15 students who are 3 to 5 years old. And I mean, I don't have that right now. I am finally on summer break. Woohoo! But I digress. So I have 15 students. They are from 3 to 5 years old. They are discovering their identity. At 3 to 5, they are really exploring in order to learn. That's why I love teaching through play in preschool. And the early childhood, the special needs end of it means that blended in with some typically developing peers, I have children that have special needs. They go from, some kids have speech, some kids have PT, physical therapy, some have occupational therapy, all the different things that help children who may have things like autism or ADHD or any type of physical disability that hinders them from learning, or any type of speech or social emotional disorder that might hinder them from building relationships, which you need to do in order to learn. So, I teach a blended class of typically developing and atypically developing, if you want to put it that way, children who I believe that I do a great job at doing, what I do and creating positive experience for kids in their first time at school and teaching social emotional development and all of the things. And also, what goes along with teaching preschool 3 to 5 year olds is that you do have to be ready for those quick transitions, those things that happen every day, and, mess up the lesson plan or make something take longer or this, that, or the other thing. And I feel that I've been doing a pretty good job with that part of cognitive flexibility. Well, in the last about 10 days, I've realized that cognitive flexibility in the bigger sense is harder. Let me explain. So, what do I mean when I say, the bigger cognitive flexibility things versus, what would be the opposite of that would be the smaller cognitive flexibility things? So, smaller cognitive flexibility would be your basic transitions. The people who have issues with this will sit in their car for a long time before transitioning to into the house or into work. Transitions during the day by transitioning, stop working into relaxing, or vice versa. Those are smaller transitions that we go through. The bigger transitions are things like moving, transitioning into work from a long time off. So I consider going back after Christmas break and after summer break, those are big transitions. But other things that are that bigger cognitive flexibility, those bigger transitions, also is transferring from school year work into my summer schedule work, which is self-led. I have a lot of I wear a lot of hats. I'm a certified life coach. I am a podcaster. I am a teacher. I also tutor. I babysit. I do a lot of things. So for the summer, I am tutoring. I do have a couple coaching clients. I am still open for a couple more if you want to fill out the form in the show notes. But I have to transition. In the last 10 days, I had to transition not only out of work and into summertime, but we also, my partner and I, we dog sat for his sister. So we were living in a different house. We were house sitting and dog sitting for his sister. So we were living somewhere else for 10 days. And for my ADHD, that I did not really realize how much my routines. I missed my sunlight. I didn't bring it with me, and I missed my sun lamps. I missed my desk. I missed my bed. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with, where I worked at her house, her bed, or anything else. It's just that I really like the way that my routines, my environment is set up. I even notice a difference. And if you think crystals are woo woo, you can, agree to disagree with me. But even being in the presence of all my crystals again, I feel different. I feel better. I feel more motivated. It's kind of amazing, the things that ADHD can impact in our life. And when you think about it, it doesn't only involve cognitive flexibility when I'm talking about going and living somewhere else and transitioning out of work. It also involves emotional regulation. There's a lot of emotions that are being pulled at with this. I didn't have my sun lamps. I had to deal with that in a different way. Did I notice I felt different without the crystals? I'm going to be truthful. No, but now that I'm back home with them surrounding me as I work, I realize and I notice the difference. So I missed them. The routines of knowing where everything is in the house, that all involves emotional regulation of getting frustrated and all those types of emotions. And then it also involves organization. If we're also putting in, the end of the school year mixed with the fact that I lived in a different house, that was, planning dinner every night. That's the organization part of it. Organization of the end of the school year is insanity. There's so many files, so much paperwork to organize and go through and pass out and give to this and put it there and put tape on this. And then at the very end of the year, we do have to do a final cleanup. So we go to work on a day that the kids don't come. It's like the last day of our, week, or until it's the last day of school for the adults. Okay. The last day of school for the kids is the day before, but we go in that next day and we clean up and we put our things on shelves so that the people in the summer can come and deep clean the classrooms and fix up paint and all the things that they do. Now, the organization part of that, I did pretty well with this year, but the transitioning and the cognitive flexibility, I really wasn't ready for all the emotions that I was going to bring up at the end of the year. You build this little family and then you have to say goodbye after 186 days or whatever it is. And that's sad. That is really, it's really sad sometimes, especially when you get such thoughtful, appreciative gifts and keepsakes and things from students that that you saw amazing growth in. It's amazing to see. It's amazing to be a part of. And it's just a lot of feelings to process and go through all at once. So that is my story of, the last 10 days. We are back at home. We did have a great time. I figured out a walking route. I managed all the things, all of my needs and musts and shoulds and all the things I did manage to get through. I surfed my emotions, and it's now summer and we're back at home. And the next thing that I need to transition into, which I think kind of sparked this episode, was my schedule for summer. Now it's time to sit down and decide, when am I tutoring who? When am I coaching who? What content am I creating for you lovely listeners and for the people on my Patreon? When am I going to do my free coaching lives? All of these different things. I do want to plug real quick before we part ways that you should really follow me on TikTok, because that's where I'll be doing a lot of my free coaching and stuff like that. So I really, really hope that I see you over there on my TikTok page. All right, so I know this episode was short. I warned you in the beginning, but I hope you enjoyed it, related to it in some way, and that is all I have for now. So, as always, stay authentic, and we will talk soon. Speaking of extra supports, I just wanted to tell you all that I've updated my Patreon page to include all of the resources that I've really ever made to be held in one place. Just head to my show notes. The VIP members do get a little extra, but you can also purchase my brand new Ultimate ADHD Journal and Planner, which I've been using for the past year, that has worked. Nothing is priced over $10, and everything is at least 50 to 100 pages that you can download and print. You can get it binded and sent to you, or you can just read it off your screen and use notebook paper. So if you want or need any type of that kind of extra support, just head to my show notes and click the Patreon link to join. I hope to see you in there.